When I first launched Home Jewels Co. back in 2017, I knew I wanted to go plastic free, but I just didn't really know how, because I'd always seen wax melts packaged in a traditional plastic clamshell package, and I'd never seen a company do anything differently, so I didn't really know where to start. But over the years, I just kind of played around with different materials, different options to see what I could actually put together. And I ended up creating these little paper parcels that make it really easy for customers to simply dispose of their wax melts when they're finished with them. And I'd say the only real, I think, difference in how you store your wax melts when they're wrapped in paper as opposed to plastic is you should keep them in a plastic container, which probably sounds counterproductive, but not necessarily plastic, but just an airtight container, because over a long period of time, for those of you who hoard your wax melts, no shame, people like to hold on to them and try different fragrances at different times, but for those of you that hoard your wax melts, you want to make sure you store them in an airtight container, because if they're left out in the heat, especially like days like today, it's very rare it gets hot in the UK, but when it does, you don't want your wax melts melting and the fragrance absorbing into the paper itself, which traditional plastic packaging would obviously prevent. So that's the only real difference in how you store them to maintain. And they'll actually, you can then store them, as long as you, again, keep them in an airtight container, you can store them for a year with no worry, and then kind of come back to them when you can. But making the switch to paper parcels was the best thing I could ever do, because it really helped me to align my business goals with my personal ones, to make sure that I'm not actively contributing to plastic consumer waste. So here's what our wax melt samples look like. They're just a tiny little slither here, and these aren't packaged yet, but here's a difference in size for our actual bulk ones. And if you're using our larger wax melts, you can get away with just using a single cube for a week, and these bars will last you quite a lengthy time. So that's how, when I mastered it, that is how I was able to make my company fully plastic free by ditching the clamshell packaging for wax melts and switching to paper.